Hey there, everyone. We're playing some more Stalker this time, but this time it's Shadow of Chernobyl, that being the first game, of course. And I'm going to showcase the most wonderful mod for this game, in my opinion. That is a bit of a mess, but it's a beautiful mess. That is Stalkersoup. So welcome to the very Russian mod named Stalkersoup. Mostly put together by a guy named TechnoBacon, which, I mean, why wouldn't you download anything by someone named TechnoBacon? And this is pretty much a total conversion mod for Shadow of Chernobyl. Now, that line right there is a bit of a debatable thing, because what is a total conversion? Normally you think something that changes the base game completely. This is still Stalker, this is still Shadow of Chernobyl, so, I mean, I'm still in the zone, the same zone. The main quest line is mostly the same, but I consider it a total conversion because, one, you can't really use any other gameplay content mods with it, and two, it changes the way you play the game. And that, in my opinion, is kind of the line to draw for what is and what isn't a total conversion. If it changes the way you play the game, because it changes some of the base story quests, like the main storyline. It adds some new details to some of the quests. It changes the way that some of them work. Like, for instance, coming out of Lab X-18, the military will fry your PDA, and you'll have to go to a scientist to get it working again. Just all kinds of details like that. It adds so much new content in the form of armors, artifacts, guns, side quests, and everything that it just changes the way that you play the game, really. So in my opinion, it is a total conversion, and a very good one at that, but it is a mess. So hopefully I won't get any crashes during this video. It's been pretty stable for me, and I'll stitch it together if I have to, but hopefully it will be a nice, smooth video. So welcome to Rostock, the kind of first, I guess you would consider it a hub of the game. And we're going to take a look really quick at one of the new additions of Stalkersoup, which is this backpack here. I can drop a rucksack and make my own stash. So I'm doing this because I wanted to show you some of the systems. Obviously, the UI looks a bit different. It looks a bit better, in my opinion. There's just more room, generally speaking. And I wanted to show you this to show you just the wealth of new guns that I happen to have on me right now. I mean, I've got an M82 Barrett 50 cal sniper rifle. I've got this really nice Remington shotgun that's a bit of a beast. This QBZ bullpup assault rifle. I've got an M4A1 tactical. I've got, of course, the G36. This sucker, which has a piece of a Gravi artifact in it that makes it more powerful. It's a bit of a beast to use. And this thing, which is quite the SMG, basically. And what I'm showing you all this for is to show you content. Because this game is, it's got a lot of content in it from the start, but Stalkersoup adds so much in terms of content that it's actually kind of ridiculous. So I wanted to show you this just to show you what you're in for this video. So let's talk about some of the stuff it changes. Obviously new weapons and armors, lots of both of those. New items, so let's see here. Special bandages, these are new. They're like normal bandages, but they have an anti-rad medication on them. So they reduce some of your radiation. A fourth type of med kit that is just ridiculously good. It adds all kinds of new alcohols and things, which is kind of funny. Lots of vodkas, naturally. Lots of new grenades that all perform a bit differently, actually. But one of the main things I think to focus on is the fact that this adds a lot of mechanics. Like, say, these. I had to use the first aid kit. That's fine. I meant to do that. These. I can get recipes for basically crafting artifacts. New ones. So, Tears of Electra, which is a artifact that I have. If I plop it in a burner anomaly, I'll get a Tears of Fire, which is quite the thing, after a couple of hours. And obviously both of those are new artifacts, they're not in the base game. The Electric Porcupine, which is kind of funny, get a Porcupine artifact, put it in an Electra anomaly, 5 hours comes out a better version with some different properties. And this is the way it works. You you basically can get this information from completing quests and things, and it will allow you to actually make a ton of new artifacts. Essentially every vanilla artifact, well, not every, but a lot of the vanilla artifacts have 3 additional forms that are not in the base game. So 4 different forms, and I'm going to show you some of that. Like, say, this is the Pellicle. Everybody knows about the Pellicle. You get a bunch of these and you can stand in a fruit punch anomaly and heal yourself. A bit rare, but worth quite a bit. I can plop one of these in a certain anomaly. Is it an Electra? I don't remember. But I can get this, the skin, which has a slightly enhanced aspect of the Pellicle, so a bit more chemical burn resistance, but it also gives me normal burn resistance and a bit of bulletproof, so bullet resistance. It's also worth quite a bit more, but it does give off radiation. And I can modify this to become what's called a scale, which is even better, but also I can trade these to people for various things. Like, for instance, I can upgrade my suit, the Siva suit here, if I give the barkeep in there a scale artifact, and I believe 30,000 rubles, and he'll actually strengthen it for me. So not only does it add new artifacts, it also adds new things to do with those artifacts. You can trade them directly, not just for money, but for equipment and for upgrades. And that's very cool, because it, again, changes the way you play the game. Some of the other new ones I've got the S.T.A.L.K.E.R right here, which gives off quite a bit of radiation, but really nice rupture and bulletproof capacity upgrades, and will actually upgrade more into a better version of itself that is actually ridiculous eventually. There's the electro tiers. Very nice. Lots of radiation removal and a bit of endurance, so I can run a bit more. And then we also have this sucker, which is one of the best ones I have, the Shining Dummy. It starts off as one called a dummy, then it can be transformed into a fire dummy, and then it can be transformed into a shining dummy, and it looks kind of like a spring artifact, those 2 metal discs with gel in the middle. A Mesomodificate artifact, which is this version, this mod's sort of translation of a sort of 3rd form, like the one before the sort of ultimate form, the 4th. But, so what you're seeing may be some of the translation being a bit odd. And I'm here to tell you that, yes, this mod is originally in Russian. It has an English translation, but it's not perfect, as a lot of English from Russian tends to be. It's a bit broken in some places, and that can make it difficult sometimes to do much. But you just have to bear through that. I'm here to tell you that this mod is not perfect. It is not a perfect mod, it does not do everything right, and it is a bit of a mess. But I like it a lot, because of the sheer amount of content it adds, the new places to go. This is ridiculous, look at this. This is the map. This is the map, he says. Look at this thing. These are all places I can go. We've got Zaton, Jupiter, the Dead Marshes, the Research Station. These places basically from Clear Sky and Call of Pripyat. And again, Cemetery Techniques, bit of an odd translation. We've got, of course, Dark Valley. This is a new area, Reconnoitered Earth. The Wild Territory, obviously. We've got ATP, we've got the Dead City is in. We've got Yantar, of course, that leads up to the Dead City. The Swamp from Clear Sky. Dark Hollow, we've got... This isn't even all of the places, Forgotten Forest, because there are underground areas as well, lots of them. The Cut Generators level. Of course, Chernobyl NPP. What's this again? A different version. We've got Pripyat separated into multiple areas. We've even got Radar down here, which is another area that was cut from the game originally. Old Village, the Hospital, which is creepy as shit. Lemansk, obviously, another from Clear Sky. And what you're seeing is basically the fact that this mod adds in a lot of cut content and polishes some other stuff up and actually kind of combines Clear Sky missions and areas and even some Call of Pripyat stuff. That's impressive. Just, like I said, sheer amount of content. There are... Hey, can you get out the way? Can you get out? Just go... There you go. It adds all of these recipes, it adds new transitions to new areas that you have to discover, which is a bit of a pain sometimes trying to discover the new transitions to get to new areas, because it doesn't really tell you whose quests to complete in order to do that. So, like I said, imperfect mod, some difficulties associated with it, some nonsense, but it's fun. It's so fun. It also adds advanced ballistics, and the shooting in Stalker has always been very satisfying, in my opinion. It's always been very accurate, but this mod actually accentuates that a lot because it changes the way some of the ballistics works. It adds more bullet spread, more recoil. Although this rifle actually is a special sort of bit of a high-level modification of a rifle that doesn't have a lot of recoil by itself. Yeah. What you're hearing there is another cut piece of content from the original Shadow of Chernobyl, that being the Islom, which is a sort of zombie-like mutant. Those guys right there. Those were originally going to be in Stalker, but they were cut. This is a powerful rifle. Got this from getting through X16. Now, one of my favorite parts of Stalker has always been the actual shooting and the variety of guns you can get. Ooh, a sparkler. No. But in this case, the mod adds so many new weapons that each have their own unique ballistic characteristics. And that means that, of course, these stats that you see, the 4 meters, are not all that matter when it comes to whether or not you want to use a weapon. It's actually interesting because the mod actually increases the uniqueness, I guess you could say, sort of a pretentious way of putting it, sorry, of the shooting in Stalker, which has always been actually really good. The advanced ballistics of the mod combined with the multitude of new weapons makes it a completely different experience, in my opinion, when it comes to shooting. Because, I mean, it is a shooter. It's got a lot of RPG elements, but it is an FPS. A very story-based FPS. Albeit. But what that means to me is a very satisfying experience of trying out all kinds of new weapons, gathering different ammo types, seeing how they work. You ready? You ready? Let's do it. Yeah. Fire's just above the red dot. I like duty. I've always liked duty and I dislike freedom, so. Now, what else does this mod do? It adds a ton of NPCs and side quests. And lots of side quests, actually. Ooh. As you can see, we've got some of the new weapons right there in M16A2. And you're seeing a lot of new NPCs that give you a lot of new things to do that just increase the playtime and the play value of the game. There's just more to do, which is important because the game, that just being Shadow of Chernobyl, is known to last a while because there's quite a bit to do. This mod increases that 5-fold with new NPCs to find, new quests to do, completely new quest lines, meaning like series of 10, 12 quests on new NPCs to do. You've got Gordon Freeman, the Half-Life cameo, is actually alive in this instead of dead in Wild Territory and will give you quests. You've got a guy named, what's his name? I don't remember his name now. He's in the kind of valley area. He'll give you a bunch of new quests, like 10 or 12. You've got this guy named Akeem who gives you like 8 or 10 new quests with all kinds of new rewards and things. And again, that's just to show what it does is increases the amount of time you're going to be playing through this game. That's important. So if you're looking for a mod that is a bunch of heavily story-based quest lines or a deep kind of immersive experience, this isn't for you. I've got to admit. This is a mess. I've got to admit. It's a lot of stuff, but it's so much stuff that it's really satisfying to me. It's not going to be to some people's liking. Some people are just not going to be into it, and that's fine, obviously. But... Gotcha. But what it does, to me, in essence, in a short form, is make the game more. It's more game. Yeah? There's just more to do, more to see, more to everything. Yeah. From new items, new weapons, new mutants, new... just everything. And as you can see there, I unlocked a couple of new paths, new loading screen, basically, transitions to go through. So, from Wild Territory to the warehouses, and from warehouses back to Wild Territory. So now I'll have new ways to get to these areas that are marked on my map, and I can use them. So again, changing the way you play the game. Shortcuts, new areas, with, of course, new mutants, new items, new stashes, and... new NPCs. It's become a lot more stable, the mod has, recently. It used to crash, like, every 5 milliseconds or so, but it's become a lot more stable recently. There's a better Russian translation, but again, I have to stress that the translation is not perfect. Some of it can be very difficult to understand, which leads to some quests sometimes being a bit difficult to complete if you don't know what to do. But if you can get past that, and you can, I promise, if you try, it's such a rewarding mod that adds so much. Yes, it's a bit of a clusterfuck. I'm not gonna lie, there's just a lot. There's a lot to do. But that's good, in my opinion. It's a beautiful, wonderful mess. So we're going to raid this Freedom base here. This is going to be my video. This gets pretty difficult in this mod. It definitely increases the lethality of combat. You die pretty easily, but so do your enemies. Even exosuits can be destroyed pretty quickly with the right shots and the right equipment. If I headshot an exosuit guy with this rifle, it'll probably kill him in one bullet. Is that a pyrogeist? No. Alright, here we go. But what you're going to be seeing here is the lethality of combat, which has always been a thing in Stalker. As you can see, of course, bullets do have travel time. And this further increases the disparity between mutants and human enemies. Mutants, of course, are allowed to be quite bullet spongy and have a host of various abilities. Whereas in this mod, humans, not nearly as bullet spongy, but with a lot of different weapons and strategies, lots of, types of grenades and explosives, new types of weapons with different ballistic characteristics, and a fair amount of accuracy as well, which, of course, changes a lot. Sight, dog, I gotcha. Whew. First time I did this, I did not have this weapon. This is a good weapon. Very little recoil on this gun. Not a lot of spread either, but it fires a bit high compared to the sight that I put on it. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god! Yep, they killed me. Absolutely dead. And there you go. Welcome to Stalkersoup. Let's see, what else does the mod add? Vehicles. Yes, it re-adds vehicles. And this menu is only running at about 1200 FPS. That's terrible. It adds vehicles that you can drive. You have to buy them, get keys, sometimes repair them. It's a bit janky and it's kind of funny, but yes, you can drive various vehicles, from cars, like basic civilian cars, to military jeeps, to large transportation trucks if you feel the need. It adds... Let's see here. Oh god, a repair and upgrade system similar to Clear Sky and Call of Pripyat, although a little less refined, admittedly. But, oh god. But yeah, it's just so much content, and that's something I very much like. Again, this mod is not for everyone. If you're expecting something like Autumn Aurora 2 or Misery, this mod is not for you. That's not what it is. It will never be that. That is not what it's here to be. Some people aren't gonna like that, and that's fine. But for me, well, for me, it's a lot of fun. Alright, we're going to continue our raid on the Freedom Facility. Maybe I can shoot in a straight line one day. Probably not. Nailed you. Alright, we're gonna toss a grenade over in that direction. These grenades are pretty potent. They don't have a massive explosion, but they throw out shrapnel like no one's business. And of course, in Stalker, shrapnel, every individual piece is properly modeled. And it matters. Penetration matters, don't take that out of context. Armor-piercing qualities matter, hollow point qualities matter. It's ridiculous. And again, the normally very good things about Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl and the Stalker series in general, this mod does a lot to accentuate and make better, more important. Damn! With things like advanced ballistics and things of that nature. Alright, Lukash is going to be up there, and of course he's a tough nut to crack. I didn't actually kill him, that's surprising. Oh! Ow. Who hit me from where? Whew. Ah! He's in a Siva. Alright. Someone else over here. Oh god! Two-shot burst. Whew. These guys are pretty ruthless, and there's a lot of them. Now, there's someone over there. Where are you? Where are you? Gotcha. Whew. Okay. Alrighty then. There you go. Have fun. Hopefully that did something worthwhile. Probably not. Alright. Surprised that guy didn't just kill me outright. Usually they're pretty capable of that. Ah, got some money from them because I have this item and artifact intel about a fireball. Very cool. Ow! 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 Oh my god! He's punching me. Hey! Skinflint. What'd I say about bullet spongy humans? Some of them are. Damn it, Skinflint. Wow, you've got a bunch of stuff. Ooh, look at all of that. I'm just gonna take it all. What the hell? I can sell it. Alright. Some grenades. Can't break that, doofus. Ah! Well, I died. Crap. Try getting through here one more quick time. Are you seeing the characteristics of the mod shining through, hopefully? Lethality of combat is a focus. Firefights are generally pretty quick, because one of you is going to die pretty fast, usually. It improves the AI a bit. They'll use grenades a lot more often and a lot more accurately. They'll use launched grenades as well. They will actually... They'll even... Ah! Whoops. Anyway, they'll even, of course, use cover much more effectively. Their pathing seems to have been improved. They won't just run into anomalies all the time. Who needs iron sights? I'm a man. Who is... shooting at me from over there? Hello? Oh, hi. You dead, son. Oh, so much stuff to loot, so little time. You know, if I understood Russian, I might be able to understand what he's saying. There we go. Nice, nice. You're still alive in here? Whoa! Yes. That guy is. Looks like I'm gonna have to finish this off camera, or this is going to be a very long video. Let's try it through one more time. Because again, never know what'll happen. I think I'm going to do more videos on this, honestly, because I really like Stalker. I think they're some of the best FPS out there. Definitely PC-focused FPS, very good. And there's just a lot to do in this mod, so yeah, I'm gonna try and make more videos. For the installation of this mod, unfortunately, it is notoriously difficult. But I will link you to TechnoBacon's site, which has a pretty obvious name, technobacon.com, and there is an installation guide on there. Follow it step by step, read it carefully. It's actually not horribly translated Russian, it's just fine. And although the installation is notoriously finicky, it works. You can do it, I promise. And it's worth it. And again, it's not like this game is expensive. This is not an expensive game to get on Steam. It goes on sale all the time. Even not on sale, it's not expensive. So just get it. Just try it. Give it a shot. If you don't like it, that's fine, obviously. But if you do like it, it's going to provide you an incredibly rewarding experience. I feel it will, at least. There are several reasons that you may not like this mod. And hopefully, I've done enough to convince you. Holy crap, 27,000? Oh my god. But if I haven't, give it a shot. It's not gonna hurt you, and it's actually pretty easy to uninstall. Even though the installation process can be quite finicky, it's not difficult to uninstall because of the way that it's not a game data folder mod. It uses the actual DB files in the Stalker main directory, which of course means that it's you can just remove them. You can just take them out. It's not that hard. Oh! They got me. Alright, folks, I'm going to finish this mission off-screen. And I very much hope you guys try this out. Again, any questions, or any quest lines, or objects or things you want me to show you, comment, tell me. I'll do it, I promise. And I will be bringing you more of this, because it's a lot of fun. So, join me in the zone, folks. And bring your bottles of vodka, your bad Russian accents, and your radiation dosimeters, and I'll see you there. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Welcome to the zone. Enjoy your stay.